Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun Gear Review Podcast, episode 131. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your guest host this week, TJ, from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. Ryan has taken the week off this week, so as I said, I'll be your guest host. And tonight, joining me, I have Tony, Chad, and a listener, Alex, who's just written a review for us and decided to join us for the show. How's it going, guys?
It's going great.
Yep.
Good, man.
That's good. So, Alex, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I've always been into guns, just kind of recently within the last, 10 years. Gotten to a point in my life where I can start to actually afford them, buy them, collect them and stuff. So I've kind of dove in head first with it. And then, like I said, just started doing my first review, trying to give back to some of the other guys that can't always do the reviews, don't have the time, kind of maybe keep them from buying the crap products.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I know
we all have.
Right. Everybody's got something. I know for me, the podcast really kind of reignited my fire for firearms. So I'm sure it did the same thing you.
Yeah, definitely. Started out with Gun Guy, and after that branched out to We Like Shooting and some of the other podcasts on the Firearms Network. So glad Jake did it, because nobody else was doing one that was really worth anything.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you, and we'll have you do your review later and as a regular panelist throughout the rest of the show. So for the announcements, the bandwidth sponsor, as usual, is brought to you by the Patriot Patch Company. You can check them out at patriotpatch.co is the website for them. They have tons of patches that are always going live. I think every time I check the site, Ryan and Jake have something new up there, and let's see, I haven't checked it lately, so I'm sure they have something nice up there. And they have the new and exclusive Gun Collective patches and t-shirts, which is a collaborative effort between Patriot Patch Co. and John Patton of the Gun Collective, formerly
Chaos 311 Clarity.
Yeah, Chaos 311. I'm sorry. Nick just messaged me and said I'm screwing everything up, so it made me screw up, of course. So there's a change in the Patriot swag giveaway. Comments on the Firearms Insider reviews and current Firearms Radio Network show notes. I think we don't necessarily have any of those this week, so we'll skip on that. The listener meetup for the NRA show, Cardinal Hall of Fame Cafe, on Saturday, May 21st. That's in Louisville, Kentucky, and at 7 p.m. So if you happen to spot Jake, and I think the wager right now is if you can say the word ambidextrous or something along those lines, as well as Jake, then you get a free drink. So what have you guys been up to? Tony, start with you.
Nothing much. I went to the Stone Mountain machine gun shoot that was put on by the Firearms Consulting Group.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Prince and his law firm, Adam Kraut. Those guys put on a great event. It was the first one, and it rained the entire weekend, and this thing is on the side of a mountain. So pretty much we were making mud cakes and mud pies. But it kind of kept the attendance down lower than it should have been because of the inclement weather. But that just means everybody that was there got to shoot a lot more. Meet people like John Patton, Whitey from Four Guys Guns, Justin Opinion, he showed up. You had Jake, you had the Firearms Radio Network there. We had me. Who else? Nate Murr, he was there. It was a lot of fun. You got to meet all these people one-on-one. You got to check out hands-on with 2A armament. Silencer Co. was there with a table. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a video that pretty much looked like I was filming during an earthquake. But I filmed the Silencer Co. table, and it was just packed full of fun goodness. And yes, I did try to get a firearm by licking it, and they told me that wasn't a legal transfer.
You couldn't just lick it and claim mine?
I was like, look, dude, they said this is America and things are a lot easier in PA than Jersey, and I figured if I licked it, the gun became mine. But they were like, no. Yeah.
Maybe next Maybe next year we can have Patriot Patch make some patches up there to just say my germs, and you can just slap them on whatever you want to claim.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't do the machine gun shoot part because I'd done that in the military. Or at least I thought there was going to be nothing new there. So the first day I just spent shooting suppressed firearms from Yankee Hill machine, Silencer Co. I didn't get to Alpha Dog. Ryan was on Alpha Dog, and he was shooting their stuff. Second day I went up, they lit off 600 pounds of binary explosive, bro.
I saw that. I saw that video. I don't know who was behind the gun on that one, but he was paying special attention to hide behind that big wooden hose reel that he was hiding behind.
Yeah, dude, that was for ATAC. He was the one that snapped that one off. One shot, 250 yards into 600 pounds of binary explosive. They had everyone sitting below the summit of the hill. So pretty much all you saw was like the top of our bodies, and then that thing detonated, baby. It was awesome.
That was crazy. You could see the shockwave in the video that I saw. I don't remember where it was posted, but
yeah, that's what I saw. Awesome. And then you see the camera move from the shockwave when it hits it.
Oh yeah, that was really great. Josh Prince had his one-of-a-kind Beretta 93R machine pistol. Titanium.
Oh, he owns that thing. Okay. I remember a couple years ago, Chaos's channel, he posted about that.
Yeah, so you'll be seeing my video tomorrow.
That's awesome. Cool. Look forward to it.
So that was me this weekend.
What about you, Chad? What you been up to?
Let's see. I loaded some ammo. I went to a gun show, which was quite boring. I found, since I went to the gun show, since our machine gun shoot here is the third weekend of this month, and it's undercover, so we don't get rained on. But I went to the gun show and looked at autos and realized that I can buy a brand new Korean War commemorative Thompson full auto for less money than I can buy a used Thompson.
Wow.
Full auto.
Wow.
But, the commemorative edition one, it's got like gold-plated sights and super pretty, and that's why I'm like, it's cheaper. I'm like, if you're buying one to shoot, who cares?
Yeah, so you're talking about is that the arm score, or not arm score?
No, I don't know who made it, but it's a.
Oh, so it is an original?
It's an actual transferable before.
Oh, wow.
It's a pre-86 transferable.
They used to do those back in the day, the commemorative ones, and they'd be full auto.
Yeah. It was
what
only like $14,995 or something.
For real?
That's pretty reasonable, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's terrible price just because we've become used to them being expensive, but compared to other things, it's not too bad. I've heard of M16s for going 20 plus.
Yeah, they had the other ones now are.
Yeah, this dealer, he's local and he usually has fairly good prices. So.
Sweet.
Yep.
But you, Alex, you do anything fun lately?
Went to my local range. I picked up a Rossi Ranch Hand about a month or two ago in 357. Finally got the chance to shoot it. Did pretty well, actually. It was pretty fun. I never really shot. I'm not a big revolver guy, so I never really shoot those kind of cartridges. But it was fun compared to shooting like my 1911s and the 9mm that I always shoot.
Yeah, so that's the shortened up little pistol lever action, right?
Yeah, it's still considered a pistol.
Yeah,
it was fun, man. It was interesting trying to shoot that and even aim it at like 40 yards. Holding it like a pistol, it feels like it should be an SBR.
A friend of mine has one. That thing, it's still got that wood stock kind of, but basically chopped down, but it's like a 4-inch stock. It's got maybe a 6-inch. If you were to shoulder, it'd be like a 6-inch reach. Those things they're kind of awkward to. It's weird to figure out how you're supposed to hold it because it's got that traditional sweep on the pistol on the grip. I mean, but it's a pistol, so it's like, do you hold both hands on the grip or do you put one forward on the foregrip? It's just.
Yeah, I was holding it out with one hand over on the foregrip and trying to look down the sights. It just felt awkward because it still has that kind of rifled stock, that what Monte Carlo style stock to it, but it's so short. You can't
Right.
really do anything. It was awkward, but it's fun. It's still fun to shoot. I still love
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing.
So if
His
you
is
put
a
it to your
44.
shoulder, has the ATF deemed it an SBR then?
Well, I had to get a good cheek well, but then I was afraid of hammer bite. So
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
literally,
right?
it's literally so short.
Yeah, I don't think I would try to hold that thing up anywhere near my face. Kind of like the people that have the pistol grip only 12 gauge and knock their teeth out with it.
no,
Good,
I
you
wouldn't have
should.
any of that.
You have a pistol grip 12 gauge, you should punch yourself in the face.
They aren't that terrible to shoot.
If you aren't expecting it, though.
Oh, that's true. That's
No, I
true.
mean,
I've
you
shot-
should
Also,
yourself
have
in
it
the-
2 inches away from your mouth.
yeah.
Oh, no, I mean, you should punch yourself in the face for doing that to a 12 gauge.
Well, some of them come from the
I'll
factory.
agree.
Like,
I don't
should we
know.
punch mouse
He
blade in
has
the
that.
face?
I don't know that Serbo Super Shorty. I think
Oh,
that's
man.
the only one that I would accept having a pistol grip on.
That thing is,
Yeah,
it's almost like, why do I want it? I don't know, but I do.
the
Yeah,
I
that's a-
shot
Yeah.
was a single shot hammer that had been converted. I think somebody probably got it, and it had already been cut down and it wasn't legal. So
Uh-huh.
so the NFA dealer manufacturer put a pistol grip on it and cut it, to 10 inches or something.
Yeah, I think Ithaca actually used to make a 12-inch double-barreled pistol grip, and it was for to prevent carjackings. The whole thing was supposed to be in your car, and yeah, it was on.
Yeah,
probably-
what did they call that? The
I can't
shoot,
think
it
of
was
it.
something like, I don't even remember, like the driver companion or something along those lines.
I think it was on Handgun Radio Discussion or something. What's the name of that group?
Yeah.
Ramage had. I think he had pictures of it in there, and it just had an L-shaped pistol grip. I mean, it just came right back into your hand,
Nice.
Right.
and they cracked.
It's
right
the
What
Ithaca
was that?
Auto and Burglar.
there
So
you
they
go.
tell you right in the name that this thing is for cars and thieves. Like, somebody tries to steal your car, you know what to do. Little
They
bitty
should-
double barrel, just like you see in pretty much every movie with a cut down double barrel. It's right in front of the foregrip. Yeah.
Yeah,
And these were the good old days.
They should
When you can do that.
deafener because that's where you're going to be after you shoot it inside your car.
Hey, but check it out. You can order it, mail order, and have it delivered to your house.
For $5.
You're just sitting around the mailbox waiting for the dude to show up with your
Back-
sawed-off double barrel.
Back in the day, you could order a Lottie and have it sent to your house too. So
Yep. 20-millimeter Lottie in the basement.
All right. Well, let's get into the weekly gear spotlight. So first off, we have the G-Code Bang Box, which is
Hey, now.
he froze up. Did he freeze up on you?
Yeah. Uh oh.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably talk about this ill-fated, G-code bang box.
Yeah.
Because with a name like that, I don't know what they're trying to imply, but
Well, I know one thing. For the first time, I was excited to do a review on something, then I realized what it was.
I don't,
I'm gonna say something so somebody can edit something. It's the G-code bang box. Maybe it should have been the G-spot bang box.
Nice. That's so horrible. I looked at it. Look, it's really nicely done. It's how do you describe it? It's a bucket with a Codora
Zippered.
top,
Yeah.
heavy-duty zippers. I'm thinking it's waterproof or resistant or something like that, and then it has a felt or Velcro on top that you can put a patch. And it's for holding your rounds. It's for holding your 5.56, 45, 40, 7.62 by 39, and
Whatever
12
you
gauge
put in
shells. Well, I'm looking at what they actually have for the
Right.
patches, and it all zips up, and it's $25. It looks neat. It doesn't bang around, but my thing is, for half the price, I can buy a plastic ammo can and do the exact same thing.
You can go buy a Rubbermaid tote.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, it looks really cool. You're all tactical.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, I'm with you on the price. There's so many different ways I mean, to carry ammo. I mean, I want 22 ammo, the long rifle.
Yeah.
You just go to Goodwill and you buy yourself some old water bottles with the screw lids.
Hold on. I love this. For most range sessions, 200 to 300 rounds is just about right. Prior to going out, strip the rounds from their cardboard and paper packaging and loose pack them in the bang box. That eliminates any trash out on the range. Okay. The wide mouth of the bang box makes it easy to get your big meat hooks in your ammo supply for an easy day reloading your mags. I'm like,
Not
stop.
an easy date.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I think they wrote that way on purpose. And I don't know if TJ or Ryan put this in the show notes. I think Ryan might have done it. And I think he did it on purpose just to see what we'd say. The idea is good, and really, $25. It's not like it's a terrible price for a zippered plastic container to hold ammo in. I mean, but it's like you said, get an ammo box. I don't know.
I mean, it looks.
You can just take the box that the ammo comes in and toss it in the trash can that's always there behind you at the range. Why do I need to get another bag to hold my ammo and take it out of the box and put it in this bag and then throw the box away at home? Then I have trash in my own home now.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, my Remington ammo, help. My Wolf ammo somehow transversed from not Yugoslavia, what was it, the former Yugoslavia, all the way to America in that cardboard box, but somehow it can't make it the trip to the range in this cardboard box.
Well, I think the theory is not the range so much, but if you go out on
Running the class
and shoot, or you take it to a class. Even if you're shooting competition, if you're just shooting, you can take a couple. If you're shooting even 3-gun, put all 3 calibers in it. I don't know how many shotgun shells it would hold, but
it didn't say
5, 6,
maybe probably a box of 25. But it looks well made. It's a good idea. I mean, they'll probably sell a lot of them. I mean, the patches do cost an extra $5 when you buy the ammo box. It does come in a lot of varieties. It looks like you can get Coyote Tan, Black, OD Green, Multicam, Desert Digital, and Woodland Digital. And really, that's only the top part. The bottom part still looks like it's kind of a flat dark earth color. But
yeah.
It looks.
Go ahead.
It looks neat, and it has a little pocket on the inside of the top that you can put information like what lot it was, or the particular lot of that ammo, or anything else I guess you want to store up in there, describing your ammo.
Yeah, because I could see a use for your reloads. You reload them, when you're done, you throw them in here instead of in a box. I mean, and then you could put your reloading data in there. Especially on stuff you load bulk in, pistol calibers, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, what's with the little clips on the side?
I do not know.
Am I going to wear that around the range as a purse? What are you using that with?
Dude, as cute as they tried to get with this, they didn't describe what that was.
It's a Merce.
That's a tactical Merce. That's.
I'm guessing it's just to attach a strap to. It says an adjustable shoulder straps included. So it comes.
Is that the new age tactical bandolier now?
Yeah, I guess you could have that zippered up to your side, just smacking the snot out of you with 300 rounds of 9mm just beating off your hip.
Well, at least at least they give you a way to carry it. Some shoulder straps I know you can run them down tight enough that it's more like a handle.
So let me get this right. Ryan put in a strap-on bang box for us.
Thanks, it just keeps getting better and better.
Thanks, buddy.
I mean, I
Now,
can see some other uses for it, like tools or
Yeah.
whatever that you don't have a maybe not a big enough range bag where you got to start strapping stuff on the outside. Maybe you could use it for that, just random multi tools and whatever the rods for cleaning rods, maybe something like that. Doesn't have to always be just for ammo, but still for $25, there's cheaper options out there.
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, I was looking at just the old-fashioned 30 caliber ammo boxes are like $14, $15 on Sportsman's Guide. So,
There
or
you
you can
go.
get the plastic ones from Walmart for $15 and not bang up the inside of your car and scratch stuff with it.
You
True.
know, when I looked at this, the only thing I noticed that they didn't have listed was what size it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just looking at a picture, and I can't see how big it is. I mean, is
It
it
has
this
to be huge.
big, or is it just kind of a little container?
Well, you think it's
Um,
holding 300 rounds of 9mm? It can't be pint size. It's got to be a decent size.
Right, but it can't. But yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
like I
I mean, how
don't
many of
listen.
those are you going to be?
Hey, look, the thing looks neat. Let's not get it twisted. It looks really neat, but again, I can get something cheaper, and that's not really that neat for $25.
No. I mean, they did well. It looks nice. It doesn't
Yes.
look like junk.
No,
So,
not at all.
and the patches are clean. I like the patches. I don't know about the cost of them. What, $5 per patch?
$5. Yeah,
Well,
that's
And
something.
they won't even give you a patch when you're spending $25 on this thing. You can't even give me a patch. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you know, I would have thought that it would have been better just to price it at $30 and include, and then you just select the patch you want.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh well.
yeah,
You want to? Okay, we're done.
is TJ still frozen up?
Yeah, I think
That's
TJ's banging his head into a wall right now.
Well,
He worked so hard to get this thing going.
hopefully it's still recording. I guess we have up next is our Wilson Combat CQB shotgun. So, you know,
That Wesley pistol grip.
you know, I saw this in the show notes, and Wilson Combat makes some nice stuff.
Uh huh.
So I'm going to go over what it is so that people can decide for themselves, or Tony can say something about it. It's only $1,695. It's 12 gauge. It has an 18.4-inch cylinder bore barrel, not even allowing chokes in it.
Nope.
It is 36 inches long with the stock collapsed. It uses just your standard AR-15 stock. It weighs 8 pounds 8 ounces, and it holds 6+1 in the tube. Let's see. So that's extended. It has the stock adapter, pistol grip, mil-spec buffer tube, and super stock, which must be a Wilson Combat thing. It has the Wilson Combat BCM Starfighter Gunfighter grip. It does come with the Surefire Tactical 400 with a 200 to 600 lumen light, so it must have more than one output.
Yeah.
It does come with an aluminum shell carrier from Mesa Tactical, which those by themselves are pretty nice. I mean, they're not the cheap plastic ones. They're a nice aluminum one. It's got a high-vis follower if anybody really cares. Heavy-duty magazine tube spring.
Uh-huh.
It's got a big safety, which could be nice because they're crossbolt safeties. So, and it's got some armor tough finish, which is probably like Cerakote or something.
No, it's armor tough.
Whatever. Yeah, so it looks like it has a fiber front sight and a PEEP rear sight, or a ghost ring rear sight. QD sockets. Okay, I'm done. Who's next?
Okay. I held my tongue long enough.
Oh, wait, I'm not done. It's based on a Remington 870. Okay,
Yeah.
next.
All right, this is a $1,700 Remington 870. Let me go ahead and say this right now to Wilson Combat. If you'd like me to review it, I'll send you my FFL information and I'll give it a fair review. But right now, any shotgun can do what this does. I've not heard of one shotgun that had a weak magazine tube spring, so I don't know what your strong magazine tube spring does. The extension, well, there should be more rounds in it. The high vis plug follower, I think that's like a $10 part anywhere. It's called the CQB. Why do I need peep sights on the CQB shotgun? It's a shotgun for close quarters combat or close quarters battle. The bead sight will work perfectly well from anyone. And pretty much I can get a Mossberg 590 for 1/3 the price. Mossberg also has a version of this with the lighted 4N, and it's like $590 also. But hey, listen, Wilson is a name brand. They do a great job in marketing. It has a bunch of sling, what do you call those things?
Swivels.
QD
Sockets.
mounts.
QD mounts. Yeah, a ton of QD mounts for the 575 ways you want to mount a shotgun. And it has a shell carrier. Again, something you can get really inexpensively. So I have no idea, other than that it says Wilson on the side, why you would do this.
Well, I think you're paying for the Wilson Combat name. I mean, they make good stuff.
But you're paying $1,000 for the Wilson Combat name?
Well, by the time you add this stuff, you're probably not paying $1,000. You're probably only paying like $800.
Because that makes it so much better.
Yeah. Now, understand that what is that called? The IAW Hawk clone for $189 has peep sights. The Chinese gun has peep sights also. And you can paint the little follower any color you want. And you spend $189, and you can take the other $1,500, buy ammo, and take at least 2 shotgun courses from anyone.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're doing here. We should probably go on to the next thing before Wilson Combat writes us a nasty email saying they hate us.
Well, Alex, what does Alex have to say about it, though?
See, my thing is, I don't like those, the Surefire, the EOTech, the lighted 4Ns. Like, this thing's got more buttons on it than my iPhone. What are you doing here? If this is CQB meant for home defense, like how many buttons do you need for a flashlight? There's 2 on one side. It looks like it's divided in half. So what do you have? Like 1 flashlight, and then you got 4. You got a dimmer on it for your peep sights, because you're gonna go take it turkey hunting on Sunday after killing the home intruder on Saturday. And then it's got a pistol grip, which we already discussed earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can get a Remington 870, that Hawk, and add like a SGA stock for a couple $100. Maybe a Mesa Tactical or something, side saddle if you feel the need for extra shots.
Yeah, and add, you can add some ghost ring sights to it if you want. Another
Nordic component.
$150.
Nordic component magazine extension, so about $75.
I mean, you can put, Elteza.
Yeah.
I had their flashlight mount that went in between the magazine tube and the barrel. It clamped just fine, held a flashlight in there. I'd shoot it all day at the range, and it would never get loose on me. So, I mean, what are you going to be doing for $1,700? What are you getting?
No. Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, that's where I was with that also. But I really try. I hate being that guy every time something comes up, but it's like, dude, no.
I mean, it looks cool. Don't get me wrong. It's got the tactical thing going for it. Yeah, it looks cool. It looked great on the cover of, some tactical magazine sitting on the shelf at Publix, but that's about it, man. You can still get that same setup for $800, $1,000 less with a shotgun you got on the shelf.
Hey guys, can anybody hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Hey, bud.
Sweet. That was
Yeah, we're about to end the show. Thanks, man, for coming on. We really appreciated it.
Oh, I've been listening to y'all talk for like 20 minutes, just watching y'all. I thought my mic went out, so I just ran to get 2 or 3 different ones, and that didn't help. So,
Yeah, you were
Nice.
frozen.
oh well. Um. Anyways, back, Alex. I think you're
Getting
echoing.
echo.
Somebody's echoing, so I'm gonna mute.
I'm hearing echo in
So
my headphones, and it's me
can
echoing. It sounds like.
okay, I've muted Alex, and it's working fine now. So I think Alex,
Yeah,
Okay.
next time you're ready to talk, go to the top of the screen and hit your little microphone, and you'll be able to talk again. Do you see that? Okay, cool. I guess I don't know what the heck it was, but anyways, yeah, back to the
we're on to the
spotlight.
PSA now.
Yeah. Well, real quick on this shotgun, I think Alex was talking about the different buttons. I believe one of them on the Surefire is a momentary, the other one's a constant on. So
That would make sense.
yeah, but I'm kind of with Tony there on the capacity. The length is seems like it would be long enough. I think how long of a barrel does that thing have?
18 and a half.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
18. Okay, so I guess 6 isn't too bad for an 18, but because usually the 20s are 8. So plus they have that high-vis follower, and I know, or that anti-tilt follower, and I know those usually have like a longer body to them. So I guess that could be limiting the capacity too. But for the most part, I'm kind of with you guys. I know Remington's like their entry line has been kind of iffy lately. I know I've heard
Express?
stories of people having. I'm not sure if I think it was the Express.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of people having shells just kind of get stuck in the chamber and stuff like that. So at
This is
some
one of-
point, I could see having a little nicer touch-ups. And I know for the longest time, Wilson Combat was offering the service. So this is probably honestly,
They
I
still
don't know. I don't know how
service.
much their service is compared to
$229.
buying. $229.
$229. It's the best deal out there.
Mhm.
Check it out. It's called the Remington. What is it? The Steel. Hold on a second. I'll pull it up again because I was looking at it last night and I almost forgot it if you didn't bring it up. It's under Long Guns on
Okay.
Wilson Combat's site. It's called the Remington Steel, and what they do is you send your Remington shotgun to Wilson Combat, and they will paint it for you. They will pretty much refurb your shotgun for you for $229.
Yeah, so but that leaves your current stock and everything on it, but they buff up the insides.
Yep.
Right? Is that what's going on? Okay. I mean,
Yeah,
that could probably be a better deal than trying to do this all out. But I know those Surefire 4Ns are pretty expensive on their on their own. But I don't know. It seems like you could just have Wilson touch up your shotgun, buff the interior and everything the way they would, and just
Hold on.
add your own.
This is what they say they'll do because it's only like a sentence.
Oh, okay.
We will replace all worn and or damaged parts, including the buttstock and fore-end, convert your chamber to 3 inches, convert to a FlexiTab anti-jam system, install a new magazine spring and follower, replace the safety with a jumbo head, replace trigger assembly with a professionally remanufactured trigger unit, iron parkerize your complete shotgun.
Yeah, see, so that's odd. It almost doesn't even add up if they're doing all that for $300. Would you say $290? $295?
$229.
Oh, geez. Yeah, if they're doing that for the price of a new Remington, or used one at the very least, a 220 is a little cheap. But for the price of a used pawn shop Remington, you could send it into Wilson, have them buff it up to their kind of standards, and then add whatever stock you want on there, and you could have a pretty sweet shotgun. So I'm kind of missing the market for this one. I mean, obviously, like that light setup's kind of expensive. I think their stock adapter, I've never actually seen that before, so I guess that could be adding to the price. Obviously, it's a big hunk of billet aluminum that's going to add to the price, but it just seems kind of like you guys are saying that not entirely sure where the price is coming from.
Oh, I know where. I just thought of it. Just seeing the other ones. Government.
Yeah, I guess if they have the
agencies will
contract.
pay that money. Exactly. So they will drop $1,600 per. No problem.
Yeah.
So that's what they're selling it to the government for, is $1,700?
I'm thinking that might be the case with some of their contracts. It's like whatever they sell it to the government for, that's the price they have to sell it for. I can't
Right.
see any other reason that anyone would want this.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I could see people buying it for like a not curiosity. I'm sure it's a good gun. You know, we're not saying it's
Yeah.
not a good gun. We're just saying
Not at
it's almost hard to find a place for it when there's when you could get more equally sufficient guns for significantly less and outfit it similarly for probably still
that's-
significantly less.
I
That
used to-
fore end is
Yeah.
$375 on the
Right.
Wilson Combat site.
Now I
And-
looked at all of their shotguns. The cheapest one is $1,540 for their standard model, and it has that same fore-end, side saddle, shell carrier, 7-round capacity, 3-inch magnum chambering.
I'm wondering if they're manufacturing these guns.
They took over Scattergun Technologies years ago,
Okay.
and they were a big shotgun.
But was
They
Scattergun
still-
making the guns themselves, or are they still updating 870?
I
Like,
think
is this
they
an
updated-
870 with Wilson improvements, or is this a 870 style shotgun made by
It's-
Wilson?
Yeah, I think it said they were Remington 870, so
Hmm.
otherwise
Yeah,
I
I
think
always-
they would.
Yeah, I always thought their guns were 870s, starting life as 870s that they just upgraded, did their own thing to, and resold them as Wilson Combat.
Right. I kind of assumed that too, but I'm wondering maybe the price is coming from if they're manufacturing all
I
of
think they
themselves.
because I'm looking at the side of it, and on the side of the receiver it says Scattergun Technologies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then that would explain the price.
Yeah, if they're doing these, especially being one-offs, you know, they can modify your Remington cheaper than they can kick up the machines and build a brand new Remington kind of thing.
right.
I guess maybe that's kind of where the economy of scale comes in, you know.
Yeah, that makes more sense too.
Much more sense.
But okay, I think we'll beat that one to death. So we'll
Pretty
move on
much.
to the Palmetto State Armory KS-47 rifle, which is Palmetto State Armory recently came out kind of with their own AK style rifles, probably last year sometime, maybe the end of last year, beginning of this year even, if I remember right. And now they wanted to get into the 7.62 AR game, but rather than just going like most people do with the standard, what is that called? I'm drawing a blank on it now. The AR style magazine.
yeah.
Oh,
From,
shoot.
Rock
What is
River-
that style called? What's that style called?
Dan
What,
Egg?
Indiana?
Stanag, yeah, Stanag.
No,
Instead of
okay,
doing
yeah.
the Stanag pattern magazine, they decided to do kind of similar to what
CMMG did.
CMMG did with their mutant, and
Mutant,
put that just like an AK style where you rock in a mag and it uses AK magazine. So I think that's really cool
Yeah.
to see somebody else, because I think previously it was just CMMG and MGI that were doing that style, and MGI's was their Hydra,
Yeah.
where you had to take the lower apart and do all that, and this is just a dedicated 7.62 lower.
Yeah, it's kind of a
And then-
hybrid.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's an AR. It's a standard AR lower from the trigger guard back, but from the trigger guard forward, it has like your rock-in magazine lug with the little paddle. One of the big things that stood out to me almost immediately, in the show notes we have their classic key mod rifle, the full rifle, but if they're not offering it now, I'm sure they're going to be offering a lower on its own sometime in the near future, if it's not on their website right now. I'm just happening to look at the link we're showing. But the lower has this big old paddle on the bottom for the magazine release, which is kind of cool. You know, it's ambi. It's got wings on both sides and at the bottom, so pretty much no matter where you try to activate that thing, you're gonna hit it.
Yeah. They list the lower. They're out of stock, so
Mhm.
they will be.
Okay. So the rifle's in stock right now, but the lower itself is not. So maybe they're just trying to push the rifle for now.
Yeah.
And they have a standard M4 stock and pistol grip on it, so obviously those are going to be interchangeable between anything else. And really, the upper is just a standard AR upper with a 7.62 by 39 barrel, and then bolt. It doesn't have the kind of like CMMG has their own proprietary bolt. I don't believe this does.
What
Bolt
it
bolt
is-
carrier.
What they use here is a 5.56 bolt carrier that's just been opened up to hold a 7.62 by 39 round. What CMMG did was take a AR-10 bolt carrier, and thereby it's meatier, so it's less likely that they will break off. Suppose that's their reasoning for it. I don't think it'll break off anyway, but listen.
Well, I know with I've heard problems of bolts breaking a little more frequently with the standard, because the 223 case is made to hold or the 223 bolt is made to hold a 223 rim, and if you look at the ends of those two cartridges, that's a big old difference because of the extreme taper on the 7.62. It gets pretty stinking big, so you get kind of a thinner wall on the bolt, and that's what CMMG was trying to avoid. But I think maybe what Palmetto was trying to do here was help with the, I guess, entry price, because those two that I mentioned earlier, CMG and MGI, it's rather pricey to get into this style of 7.62 AR.
It's almost $1,800. It's almost $1,800 for CMMG. And I think the MGI is much more expensive because I've been drooling over those for years.
The MGIs are probably pretty comparable to the CMMGs, if I remember right. But this is $1,000 right here for a complete rifle with a full-length key mod handguard stock. I don't know if it comes with a magazine or not, but they show one in the rifle, obviously. I honestly doubt it comes with a magazine, just because that's how Palmetto State does.
Yeah, I don't see where it says it does, but I mean, it's an actual AK style mag, so it's not like they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I think all their other AR rifles I don't think come with magazines, so it's not unusual for them to think that they would not come with one. The bolt carrier group says hybrid KS-47, but they don't really explain what that is. It says that the bolt carrier group works with either AK-47 magazines or AR-47 magazines, and features an extended firing pin. The carrier is made of 8620 steel, chrome-lined and phosphate-coated, and the chrome-lined gas key is attached with a grade 8 bolts and properly staked. I like how they pointed that out, because I know that's a pretty big mark of whether a rifle's done right or not, is if the bolt carrier or the bolt key is staked in or not. The bolt is made of phosphate-coated 9310. Steel. So they don't. I think the hybrid. Maybe they're just saying because they show in a video. If you scroll to the bottom of the link, the Palmetto State Armory link, there's a video from AK Operators Union where they shoot it. They're kind of introducing their new PSA 47, which is the AK variant, and then the KS 47, which is what we're talking about now. And they've got a standard AR lower with the really silly looking AR mags that hold 7.62 by 39 laying on the table. They run a magazine. They run a magazine through their KS-47 lower, and then they just throw on the standard AR lower with the Stanag type magazine and shoot it through there too. So I think they're just kind of trying to keep it a little versatile. But I know with the advantage of the standard AK mags is they have the proper curve, which allows better feeding.
Well, not only allows better feeding, it allows you to actually put it in a magazine holder or vest that's shaped correctly. But no, Palmetto State also makes an AR-47. That's what they're talking about. So if you check out the AR-47, it is pretty much an AR-15 upper, 7.62 by 39, and a regular AR-15 lower. So pretty much if you want this, whatever this thing is called, what is this called again?
KS-47. I'm really not sure where the name is coming from. Usually there's some kind of sense to be made, but I'm not sure with the K, AKS. I don't know what the S is for. I guess they just had to make it different. They couldn't call it a mutant, of course.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think the AR-47 that Tony was just talking about is pretty much just a standard AR in 7.62, it seems.
Yep.
So
but I think you can take that upper and put it on this.
Yeah. I think that's what they tried to accomplish. Is if you already had an AR in 7.62 and you did have those feeding problems from using those cartoonishly curved AR magazines. You could just buy their new lower and slap it on there, once they become available, and get rocking with some AK mags instead. Plus, you have commonality if you have friends with AK mags or if you have an AK, because a lot of people that shoot, 7.62, they might probably have AKs that shoot the same caliber, and it'd be nice to share magazines rather than having this AR that doesn't shoot AR magazines and a 7.62 that doesn't shoot AK magazines kind of combination.
Yeah,
So
I
pretty
kinda
sweet
like
middle
it.
ground, I think. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they don't show the price for the lower, so they have a built lower and a stripped lower, and they both say temporarily out of stock. And they even have a full build kit. I assume in the coming weeks, I'm sure they'll have it. Once they get kind of a little more exposure on it, they'll have everything up and running. I'm sure this rifle is just kind of a introductory, just to try to get people into it, and then they'll probably start releasing the small parts. They
Well,
even
my thing is this.
Go ahead, Don.
Well, my thing is about their key mod. I'm like, pretty much haven't we gotten to the point now everybody's using M-Lock? I mean,
Yeah.
Isn't that the way it's going to be going, pretty much?
That's kind of what I was thinking too. And Palmetto, all their built rifles, all their built uppers have key mod on them. It's every now and then they'll throw up one with a M-Lock on it. So I'm just kind of wondering why they don't offer it in both. That would make a little more sense to me. Let
Maybe
you kind of
they bought
decide.
5 million key mod up.
I think so.
Torrents, and
Yeah.
give them another year and a half, and then they'll have key mod.
Could
Of course, Palmetto State's still betting on Betamax, too. So,
Now, I noticed one thing I kind of like that they have in stock is a dust cover, an ejection port, dust cover that says, engraved in the side, it says 7.62 by 39, and then on the other side it says Russian, and it's got little caution labels everywhere. So that's, so you don't try to put a 223 through it, which is pretty good. Try to keep the confusion down. You'd hate to have somebody try to chamber something and fire something in the same, in the wrong caliber, And they also mentioned a lengthened firing pin on the bolt carrier group, a little segment I was reading too a minute ago.
Yeah, I
Is that
hear
something
that.
I've heard? Go ahead, Chad.
I was gonna say, I've heard that with the 7.62 by 39 AR uppers, a lot of times you'll need like an extended firing pin.
Yeah,
they
but
make
just
it-
like a hair, just because the
Yeah.
length, what is it, the thickness of the primers in the bulk ammo or the surplus ammo, just makes it
Yeah,
maybe a little harder.
It's
There's something to do with the
something-
primers in the bulk ammo that makes it a little difficult for standard ARs to.
yeah,
work with.
and who knows what kind of, hammer energy I hear is kind of a problem with
Oh yeah.
some of the regular AR conversions, but I'm sure since this is kind of designed,
Dedicated.
yeah, it's probably not going to have that. Unless, of course, you put some other trigger in it, it might cause problems.
Right. Let's see.
So,
It says, I don't know. They don't seem to mention the trigger in particular, so I'm not sure if it has a standard AR trigger.
it has a standard AR trigger.
That's
yeah,
what I
that would be
thought.
my guess,
Yeah,
because it's
it has
just
a
standard.
So you might just need some stronger power springs or something like that to
Yeah, I know you can
be reliable.
buy them for, like, if you have an AR with a 7.62 upper, they make an like extra power hammer spring.
So it shouldn't be too difficult. It'd be nice if they packaged it in, especially since this is a fully built rifle. It'd be one thing if you're buying parts and you just buy a parts kit, but this is a full built rifle. It'd be kind of a little more,
probably-
make a little more sense if they included it,
Yeah, they probably
which they might be, and
do.
just didn't mention it on the site. So
Yeah,
there's no telling. Sometimes they're, especially PSA, sometimes descriptions are a little ambiguous.
yeah. Actually, when I first clicked on this, like yesterday or whenever I looked at it, I was actually surprised they had a pretty good description, which kind of amazed me. Actually, I was like, oh, this actually kind of explains a lot about it.
Right.
You know?
So, and then, like I mentioned earlier, there's that video from the AK Operators Union
Yes.
down at the bottom. That they talk about it a pretty good bit there. So if you if you still have some questions, it might be answered in that video.
Yeah, before they take it and drive a truck over it or drag it with a truck.
Yeah, them guys like doing that.
Yes.
They want to make sure the stuff works, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know if we mentioned the gas block diameter standard, 0.75. Uh, the key mod handrail that comes on the full rifle is 13 inches, so it's pretty lengthy. Trying to find the twist rate 1 in 10. I don't know anything
That's
really about 7.62, so I don't know if that's good or bad
that's
or what.
pretty standard for those.
Okay.
Of course.
It's got a pretty standard 5/8 by 24
Yeah, 30
thread pitch on
cal.
the muzzle instead of
30
having a
cal.
weird AK pitch.
Yep.
My thing is this. This would have been a great idea years ago. I don't know. I'm not really blown away by it, but hey, cool. Let's do this.
Yeah, I think it's a cool option for people that want this thing,
Yeah.
this, but it's kind of a. I feel like it's kind of a limited market, but I can see it. I can see people being excited about it.
Well, the reason I'm saying years ago was because Century Arms and a lot of other importers had AKs, and they kind of sort of sucked. Crooked
Yep.
barrel sights not lined up, everything like that. But now we've gotten to the point there are two different companies making them in America. Um, the quality of them all have gone up, so pretty much you're not having the crooked sights anymore. You have the optics that you can put on. So the AKs themselves and the accessory market has really stepped up.
Right.
So before having an AR, because you have the accuracy, better accuracy, you had longer sight radius, but now with tech sights that took care of that. Also with what's the name of Texas Weapon? Texas, another company out of Texas has a rear sight for an AK too. I can't think of the name of it right now. Plus you have the optics rail on the side, so it's kind of a little late for it to make that big of an impact, but I still think it's pretty cool.
I think it'll go well. It's just it's a more limited market, and obviously, if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But if it is, I think it'll impress the people that wanted something like this, or maybe the Mutant was too high of a barrier to entry for them to play around with, but this is a little more reasonable, And then especially if somebody already wanted a 7.62 AR, maybe they already built their upper, and now all they have to do is buy their stripped lower when it comes available for no telling how much. Probably, I'm gonna just speculate, but under $100, I would imagine. Maybe a little more because R&D and all that kind of stuff. But with PSAs, lowers are generally relatively inexpensive. So if you think even if it's $150, but if you already have a built rifle, you buy the lower for $150, strip everything out of it, throw it in your new lower, or just buy a new lower parts kit, and then you have a more functional rifle that takes standard AK mags that are more readily available than these weird StanAg 7.62 mags.
So if you have one of these and a 300 blackout, which one do you take out since they have both the same ballistics?
Interesting. I don't know.
You take the KS-47 out because the ammo's a whole lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think we're about done. Alex, did you have anything you wanted to say about that? I don't remember if you chimed in on it any.
No, I've never been a big AK guy, but if I was ever going to get an AK, I want a real AK with the wood furniture.
Not an AR?
Yeah. If I wanted that, I've got ARs.
Right.
If I want to get an AK, I want to get the old school classic AK. That's not for me. I'm sure it's cool. I'm sure it works great and everything, but I mean, it's not for me, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tony.
I can get another AR.
Right. Similar price for something that especially if you're just not into the round, or if you don't want to invest in a new round, then you might as well just stick with the AR kind of thing. But okay, kind of with the product panel, so we'll move on to Alex's review. If you want to take it away, Alex.
Yeah, man. Sorry for all the echoes.
You should be good now that you'll probably be the only one talking. For a few minutes.
Nice. So yeah, I did the Nightbreak from Manticore Arms. For this one, I focused on the AR version of it. I think they make one for the 5/8 by 24 thread pitch. But I just focused on the AR, the 1/2 inch by 28. For me, honestly, it was going from like a bird cage to something like this. Like if all you've shot is a bird cage, just a standard bird cage type flash hider, going to something like this is, like I said, it's going from driving a go-kart to a muscle car. I mean, it was nuts. the difference in your standard flash hider to go into more of a compensator that doesn't really care about sound or anything like that. It's just trying to mitigate the recoil. It's completely different. It was relatively easy to tune in terms of tuning any of those type of brakes because it doesn't have any of the holes underneath, kind of like the second gen bird cage, just to help stop any of the dust signatures. If you're shooting on a bipod, if you're out in Arizona and you're shooting, if you're hunting, anything like that, you're not going to have the dust signature that flies up in your face, gets in your contacts, whatever, what have you. My thing though, they said it was 1.7875 inches long. I don't have any calipers, so I couldn't tell if that was with or without the crush washer. But I would like it just a little bit longer for those that like the 14.5-inch barrel and then pin and weld their muzzle brake on. It's too close for me to go to do that with a 14.5-inch barrel. Would you be 0.3 inches, 0.3 of an inch longer than technically legal? I wouldn't want to be doing that for me personally.
I actually had an interest in doing a 14.5-inch rifle a couple months ago, so I emailed them and got an email response like pretty freaking quick and said, let me go check. And about an hour later, I get an email back saying that it was too short. So from the manufacturer, it is too short for 14.5 to be legally 16 inches.
And it sucks because I'm fixing to do a new build with a 14.5-inch barrel, and I wanted to put this on, but I mean you can't, not without SBR in it, and I'm not going to pay $200 just to put on a brake. About 2 ounces. It's pretty light. It's pretty standard when it comes to your brakes. It's nothing major. It's not going to break any barriers in the lightweight muzzle brake department if there is one. But it's not super heavy. It's not like you're putting some gigantic brake on there with your extra cover like some of those other ones now have, where you've got that extra compensator cover for it. What is it? The Spider brake, I think, has one like that. After, when I put it on, I went to the range the first time. I did notice a noticeable drop in recoil and muzzle rise. So it does help with that once you tune it. It is great on top of your normal brakes. Most of them out there are going to be pretty much the same. You're going to have better brakes, worse brakes than any of them. But it was nice to be able to get quicker follow-up shots, especially at 40, 50 yards, 100 yards. I was keeping it relatively within the 1 inch, 1.25 inch. So it wasn't too bad. It does come at a cost, being a compensator. I noticed personally, and that was me coming in at an indoor range and not outdoor. Maybe that was it. But there was a considerable blast off to the side. For the guy shooting next to you, maybe that's something that you don't really want to deal with. Or if all you're doing is indoor shooting, that's something to keep in context when you're buying this. The people next to you are going to be feeling it. I felt it. I felt the pressure wave when my buddy was shooting next to me. So that's something to keep in mind. And they don't really tout it on the website, but I did notice, and I was trying to find the video to kind of send it on and put it in the show notes. But when I was shooting it, we had considerable flash, some fireballs, and it was awesome. I mean, these things were huge just about every other round. Maybe it was the rounds we were using Freedom Munitions 223, just standard 55 grain, full metal jacket. Maybe it was the rounds, I don't know, but they didn't really tout it as giving you fireballs. But we saw them, something that I wanted to note. And personally, I love it. I thought it was awesome. I like that type of thing. It's the big, the loud, the fireballs. It's just fun. You don't have too many weapons like that. Pistols don't really do that, and not all of your other rifles do. So it's fun to have one that's just obnoxious. Everybody loves one.
That's kind of interesting. I always assumed with it being called the Night Break, maybe it's supposed to be like a flash comp kind of combination, but I guess
you would think so. Yeah, and they kind of tout that on the website. If you read the description, they say that it helps hide the flash, and I found the opposite, so I thought that was kind of weird. I didn't email them about it because with it being indoors, it wasn't super bright. Their lighting's not exactly great at my range, so I didn't know if that had anything to do with it. You know, if you go outdoors, daybreak, afternoon, you go and shoot, and you may not notice it. At night, on the review that I posted on from Mr. Guns and Gear, you didn't really see too many of the flashes that I personally saw. So, like I said, I didn't know if it was just the ammo, environment, whatever. I just thought it was cool, and I wanted to note that in case anybody was looking at something along those lines. Overall, I mean, I love it. It was great, especially for the price. They sell it for $57.95, $58 on their website, and everywhere I looked held true to that price. So for $65, $70 shipped to your door, I mean, you've got a great little break that's going to be better than any of the standard ones you're going to get when you go buy your Smith & Wesson or any of the other standard AR pattern rifles out there. You're going to get your basic Birdcage A2 flash hider. This one's a great, inexpensive upgrade to help get you a little bit tighter groups, get you mitigating that recoil and getting you back on target. I loved it. Let's see, target market. Anybody that does competitive shooting, I can see this being used maybe in 3-gun a little bit. It's not your $200, $150, $200 muzzle brake, you know. So anybody who's just starting out wants to dip their toes in 3-gun. You may want to look at something like this. Relative just target shooters, just guys going out for the weekend, just want tighter groups. It'd be great for that. Like I said, for $60, you know, you're not breaking the bank for a weekend AR. Features and benefits. Weight, 2 ounces, not bad. It's not going to change the handling of your gun. The harmonics probably aren't going to change compared to a regular break. I like the no ports on the underside, so you're not worried about any kind of dust signatures. One of my local ranges down south is an outdoor. It's kind of dusty, so you will get some of the dust and dirt flying up in your face. This helps keep that down. They say it will clear up to 30 caliber bullets, so I don't know if I would try it with like 300 blackout. I'd be curious to see if they could, if your barrel is threaded for 1/2 inch by 28.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an odd point because most of them are 3/8 inch.
Yeah. It's got a good finish on it. I've had this break on that rifle for 1.5 years, 2 years now, and I don't treat my guns any kind of. I treat them as a tool, so I'm not going to baby my rifles, and I haven't found any marks on it at all from putting it inside, outside the case, putting it on the concrete tables at the range. I haven't found anything wrong with the finish that they have, which is a black oxide finish. Which comes to one of the problems I have with it. That's the only finish that you can get it in. They don't do it in like a stainless for some of the guys that want a different finish for the aesthetics of their rifle. Other cons, I went through the length. It's not long enough to put on a 14.5 inch barrel, so you can't have that 16 inch without doing a stamp on this break. And if that behooves you, the concussion. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people are more courteous shooters than others. Depends on what I'm shooting. If I'm shooting something like this, if I get that Desert Eagle 50 caliber I want, I'm not going to be that courteous shooter. I'll let you know I'm shooting it, but if you don't like it, sorry.
Well, you cannot go to a range. What I learned so far from this is it's loud. Alex is an obnoxious dude to be shooting beside, and he's also scared of federal laws. He's a wuss.
I'm not saying I wouldn't try it, but I just wouldn't take it anywhere.
What are you, a scaredy cat? Come on, take out that 15th and 5/8 inch barrel.
Right? Grow a pair. Come on, man.
Grow a pair. Go to jail because it's 1/8 of an inch too short. Gun laws. They're stupid.
They are, but hey, I don't want to be the reason somebody throws in a 14.5-inch barrel. Well, he said it was. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Right.
no. You're not suing my ass.
Nope.
Yep. So, yeah, I think you
Anybody
covered
got
your whole
questions?
review there, huh? What about your overall kind of rating, I guess?
I gave it an 8. Like I said, especially considering the price. It's a great break. And the price is right. Even if you just don't like it, you're out $60. I mean, on some of the other breaks that they were comparing it to, they were comparing it to breaks that were $125, $150, and it held its own. So that's
Right,
got
and
to
you're
say
talking about
something.
the Truth About Guns article we have linked in your review. I think they took like 30, 40, 50 different muzzle brakes out and shot them all side by side.
Yeah, and it was actually kind of difficult to find a honest, true review that wasn't Bubba's Backyard Reviews.
Yeah.
So and those were the two. And if you read that article and watch the video, you'll see some of the breaks that they're comparing it to, and it's pretty close in comparison to how it holds up. So I mean, I would recommend it to anybody who's looking to buy a new compensator. Like I said, anybody who's looking to dip their toes into 3-gun, just wants a better break. I would totally recommend it.
Cool. So I noticed in the picture there's like a little cutout on the top side of it. Did they mention what that's for?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it helped in something. I'm not sure. Maybe that just helps you kind of time it, point that side up, because it's just kind of like a half circle on the top for seemingly no reason.
I never really did figure out what exactly it was, unless it was for timing.
Yeah. That could be it. Just if that's facing up, it's timed pretty correctly. So could be something as simple as that. Well, all right. That was a good review. Thanks for your first review.
Appreciate it.
So we'll move on to the tech gadget. This week we have it's kind of made its rounds a little bit, and it's throwing up some controversy. So I think first what we're going to do, kind of give the general features of it and explain what it is before we tear it apart too bad. So what this is, Zore, Z-O-R-E. What are they calling it? A cartridge chamber lock kind of thing. I'm not even entirely sure what they're calling it. Basically, it's a gun lock that this device, it's got a dummy cartridge on one end of it that slides into the chamber, and it has some kind of magnetic or some kind of, honestly, not entirely sure how this thing works. But basically it goes into the chamber and it has like an RFID type release for a gun lock. Has anybody looked harder at this thing than I have? Because I know I'm probably not explaining it very well.
I read.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say I read a little bit into it, and I don't know if I like it. I mean, it looks like they're saying it's a pin, but it's a dial pin, like you're using an old master lock, but then it's got Bluetooth that you can unlock it from your phone.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it's got a battery in it, but I couldn't find like what size battery, if it was 2032, or if that battery dies, if you can still use the dial. I don't know. For me, and the website kind of touts it as with the videos that you can use it as like a nightstand.
I think the batteries are rechargeable. Oh no, it's a CR2, which is an older camera style battery, if I remember right. So yeah, this thing it's kind of like a chamber plug, like I said earlier, and then it's got this piece hanging out the side of your firearm. It's for handguns specifically, and they show it in like a Glock, so I'd imagine it's probably somewhat depends on the size of your gun, I suppose, because some of them will have a thicker slide and all that. It looks pretty close to the side of the Glock, but Glocks have fairly wide slides, I guess, compared to some others. So imagine if it fits a Glock, it should fit others. But the thing is, I'm just not entirely sure how it's supposed to lock in. Like, is it all magnetic force that just kind of like it magnetically sticks to the chamber?
Under their tech specs, it says when it's locked, Zore's patented cartridge sits in the chamber without applying any pressure on the gun. But if someone attempts to charge your gun, the cartridge radically expands with 14 times the force being applied to it. It prevents motion and immediately locks the gun, all without scratching the barrel or damaging it. So it looks like it's got some, like, I mean, they look like metal, but I don't know what they are. Kind of around the cartridge piece that goes in, and I'm guessing when you move it or pull the slide back, it like expands to grab on to it.
Yeah. So is this RFID or does it just work with the smartphone? I think at first I just assumed it was RFID, but
I think it's both. You can dial
Okay.
in your PIN number, or you
okay.
can use your smartphone.
Okay, so it's got like a dial type, like a safe dial kind of thing on the top
Right.
or on the side of it.
Yeah, there's a little video that kind of shows what happens when you pull the slide back, and but
Now, to me, and then what is the? Let's see, I forgot how much it was, but I remember it being kind of okay. The retail price is $199, and then the starting from, I don't know if it's an introductory price of $95. So for $95, possibly $199, you have this gun lock that goes into the chamber of your gun. It needs and then it just kind of relies on the pressure of this thing. Like I guess it has kind of a built-in accelerometer or something like that that senses when it's trying to be pulled out, and then it sends a signal to kind of expand this, block on the inside and wedge it in there almost. It just seems kind of like you're relying on. To me, it just seems like you're making it too complicated.
The video kind of showed that it looks kind of like the lock piece is like a separate piece. It kind of slides over the other little piece, so I'm guessing when you pull it back, maybe it's mechanical, that particular piece, to lock it in place, but then when you cycle it off or give it the right pin number or whatever, it then like probably magnetically pulls something in, and so you can eject it. There's not really that much information on how it actually works. But I don't know if the dial lock. Me personally, I wouldn't want to risk my life on some piece of electronics not working. But I guess maybe it might classify as certain. It might be better than something in states where they require something.
Yeah, it seems like in those types of states where you have to have, like California, for example, you have to have the gun and locked up, empty, completely empty, and then you got to have the ammunition somewhere else stored separately. It could be possibly okay for that situation because you're not having to worry about a key or something like that. But to me, it seems like you'd be served better with a handgun safe.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it seems like this is more just to keep somebody from loading around into it, but it doesn't do anything to stop an unauthorized user from getting the gun. They still have access to it, and it's kind of like one of those things. If you have a lightweight safe or a little gun cabinet in your house and somebody rummages through your house, they could just take the safe, throw it in the back of the truck, and then open it at their leisure kind of thing. And I get that it'll stop the kind of innocent little snooping, your toddler or something that just runs across your gun. It'll deter them a little bit and hopefully keep them from being able to use it. But like I said, it just seems more reasonable, feasible to have a handgun safe and have it a little more properly locked up. And then the why, like in the FAQ, to have the question, why Zor? Because we felt the gun storage methods in today's market are too inaccessible. That's it.
Okay.
That's the argument. So it just seems their description is Zor is a revolutionary gun storage system with an easy-to-use dial code to unlock your gun in under 2 seconds. They almost don't. I think they're just kind of hoping people buy it because it's a cool new thing. Like I feel like their lack of information is just odd,
Okay.
you know?
Let me explain to you, because obviously you don't get it. This was developed by Israeli Special Forces.
Oh, okay. I'll
Okay.
take 10.
Now, here's the thing: the Israelis can't figure out why so many Americans believe in that whole empty chamber Israeli carry method. So they believe as long as it has Israeli Special Forces on it, Americans will buy anything and not even question it. So because we've got so many stupid people that we carry with an empty chamber because Mossad does. So they figure, hey, listen, we make anything, say we made it, Americans will buy it. It is a stupid idea. Now I'm looking at this and I'm looking at their FAQs. Okay, here's what happens. Can it be hacked? Oh no, it can never be hacked. It won't damage your gun. If the okay, what happens if my battery runs out? Oh, well, if your battery drains out, you are able to connect an external battery to give it power. Well, what happens if somebody cuts the whole thing off my gun and only leaves that thing in the chamber? They don't say what happens to your gun. Like, how are you going to get it out when they cut the whole thing off and now that little bullet expanded in your chamber? Is my gun just trashed now? You know what I'm saying? When I get
Yeah.
it back? Look.
Yeah.
It's important to secure your firearm, not just make it not able to be used. When you're not home, your gun needs to be secured. It's locked in a room, and locked in a case. That's good enough. But just lock it in a case and leave it in your open bedroom is not good enough. And
Okay.
this is a very expensive case.
Yeah, that doesn't case it.
Yeah, that doesn't
You can still
case it.
walk off with it. Yeah, I just some of their FAQs, they just seem too cocky almost, because here's one. What if there's a technical failure? Zor's mechanism is just as reliable as any premium gun storage system. They don't really throw out anything to compare it to, what they might be considering a premium gun storage system. But we test all of our units thoroughly in order to make sure that you get what you paid for, the best gun lock system in the world. That doesn't answer the question. That's a politician's answer right there. What if there's a technical failure? Well, we tested it, so yeah. There's no. Well, if it fails somehow and I can't get this off my gun, what do I do? That's
it won't.
That's basically their answer. It won't.
It won't. I'm like, listen.
Okay,
When
so
it's
they
too
do
good to be
have
true-
to address
Okay.
Tony's statement of saying they're just going to bash it or cut it off. It says, what if an unauthorized person manages to cut off the external unit? Will the gun open? Will they be able to use it? No, even if the external unit is cut off with an angle grinder, the gun will still remain locked. Additionally, you will get an immediate notification if this happens. But there's no... Okay, so it's permanently melded into your chamber. What do you do at that point? This is just the kind of frustrating thing about it. It's like...
You go buy a new gun.
Now, how's
Because
this
it's
one?
permanently in your barrel.
Yep. How's this one though? This is great. Where is it? No, not possible to hack. Can I be tracked by my Zor? No, it doesn't have a GPS. So when they come in my house, they can take the whole damn gun that I can unlock over my phone, but I can't track it with my phone. So the alarm went off until it got out of Wi-Fi distance, and now it's gone. It's just gone. Oh, it's stuck in your barrel. Well, I can take this whole thing off, right? Put a new barrel and order one from Lone Wolf, and now I got a gun and a Zor.
Yeah. So now, just kind of like to that point of being tracked, it almost seems like it would make more sense. They know the tinfoil hat wearing type that's not going to buy this if it has any type of tracking feature. But also, there's the types of people that are going to buy those. What do they call the little tabs you put on your luggage or your keys? The little chips with the low frequency Bluetooth or something along those lines. Low energy Bluetooth that just constantly broadcasts a Bluetooth signal. So if you're within 50 to 100 feet of it, it'll tell you a general whereabout of it. So rather than, it seems like that may be the technology it's using, because you can use your smartphone with Bluetooth to unlock it, but you can't use your smartphone with Bluetooth to possibly find it if it gets stolen, or maybe it's still in your house, just one of your kids took it and stuck it under their bed or something like that to try to bring to a friend's house and show them Dad's cool gun or something like that. Well, you could use that in that situation to find a little more approximation of where it's at. It's not where it belongs. Hopefully you can use this Bluetooth to find it, but it seems like they're avoiding doing that for some odd reason. I guess one kind of neat thing, I was looking at the dial. Like I said, it's got like an electronic, almost like a red dot sight. How you have your dimmer dial on the side, where it's just a big 1 inch or so circle on the side. That is your, kind of like I mentioned earlier, like electric safe entry. Rather than being like super specific, like it's got a little yellow dash, kind of like this side up kind of thing, but you don't have to start it with the yellow in one specific spot. It says rapid dial counts the clicks while you turn, regardless of the dial starting point. That's what they're calling the technology. Close to the start point or the direction you turn, it recognizes your combination and opens immediately. So I'm thinking if it doesn't matter if it starts at 0 or if it starts at 8. If you turn it to the left 2 times, and then to the right 5 times, and then to the left 4 times, I don't know.
And if you're under stress, how on earth are you going to count those clicks?
You're not.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to screw up so many times.
My thing is this: your home self-defense gun should be accessible immediately. The only thing that should slow you down is you making yourself aware of what's happening around you. Other than that, this thing is try to solve a Rubik's Cube to get your gun out of its case.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. One of the things I was talking to one of my students, and he said they were doing some training with another instructor, and he would have them run, do push-ups, and then have to open up a combo lock to get their pistol out of before they start the shooting drill. It's like that's all part of the drill. And you'd watch dudes just fall apart with a simple combo of 5, 10, 15. You know what I mean? So you tell me what's going to happen when you're Zor. You're trying to get the clicks and count clicks as your wife is saying, I think somebody's coming up the stairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, one of my things is, like, yeah, you can use the little dial, rapid dial thing they've got. They also say you can unlock it with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can just hold to unlock.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if you're out in the garage and kid, you leave your phone upstairs, go down to the garage, kid finds your phone or whatever, he knows how to do it and hits hold to unlock, and now all of a sudden your kid's got an unlocked handgun.
Right, and I didn't even think about that. Most people, I can't say most people, but I can speak for myself. My phone's not constantly tied to me when I'm at home. It's on a nightstand or on a in table or something like that. It might be near me. It's pretty much near me all the time. But sometimes I do leave it in the kitchen, leave it in the bedroom or something like that, and just kind of forget about it. Well, if your kid picks up your phone and then, or anybody, picks up your phone and they know how this thing works and walks over and unlocks it, that is I didn't even think about that as a security issue. Also, I just noticed something in the video that they posted. I'm looking at a video on guns.com, and they're showing, like, the guy activates it, and I guess they're supposed to say, he activates it and starts shooting an intruder, basically. Well, there's cases falling on the ground, and they don't have primers in the primer pockets.
Oh, so it blows it forces the gun to blow out primer pockets now?
Apparently. That's just something kind of odd I noticed.
Makes it a super gun.
Yeah. I'm wondering if like I said, there's kind of not a lot of information, a ton of information, so I'm wondering if you buy the 9mm, if you sell your 9, get a 40 or 45, can you replace the caliber specific locking unit, as they're calling it? Or if you have to buy a new one or sell it and buy a new one, maybe you can send it back. I don't know. But the thing that's kind of disconcerting to me is you go to their website, you go to the store, and it says upcoming campaign calibers. They have 9x19, 40, 45, 5.56. Then there's a button that says, let me know when the campaign starts.
Uh-huh.
So that's leading me to believe that it's some kind of Kickstarter or, Indiegogo type campaign that they haven't even begun yet.
Nope.
And they're trying to get all this hype right now, so they're not even remotely off the ground.
Well, if you look at the pictures on the website, none of them are real.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of 3D rendering.
That tells me that they've got like maybe a 3D printed prototype that they've used in the videos.
Right.
They don't even have this thing off the ground. They haven't even tried it, tested it out with real materials to see if it'll work, if their tolerances are going to change.
Yeah, I guess it'll be something to watch because it'll probably be if this thing ever comes out, it could be months to a year or longer, just because, like I said, it's not even really in any kind of advanced stage, So we'll see.
I don't know if anybody mentioned this one on the frequently asked questions. Is Zor designed to be a lock for my gun while carrying it?
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Who has a lock on their gun while carrying it?
We had a dude who had a lock on his gun while carrying it. I won't say what position he held or who he was, but yeah, he had a holster that had a key lock. So to get to your firearm, you had to unlock your holster.
Hang on! Don't kill me yet! Don't rob me yet! Hang on! I gotta find my key.
What the heck is that? A chastity holster?
All I'm saying is, luckily, my partner had to deal with it that day because I didn't like the guy to start with, but I would have openly ridiculed him.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I would have openly ridiculed him.
Was his name Fife by any chance?
No. Don't ask me his name again because I swear I'll tell you. But it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of. And here's the problem. There was nothing wrong with it except he didn't know how the key lock worked.
Huh.
Yeah, so he had his carry gun on him in something secured that he didn't know how it worked.
Who makes those?
So I'm also a little confused. Is the name of their app the Zor Bridge?
No, the Bridge is like it's a device that you plug in, from what I read, close to and it hooks the lock up to your Wi-Fi. So if you leave your gun locked, you can go to Spain, and if somebody touches it, it'll be like, hey, somebody's touching your gun. But you're going to be able to do something from Spain or from New York, and your gun's in Atlanta. You're going to be able to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm wondering if that comes. I would assume that comes with the package.
Nope. Not from what I read.
It's extra.
Interesting. Quite interesting. So I guess one thing they made, one good consideration is they said that the battery won't be able to be removed while it's installed. I'm not sure exactly how they accomplish that because it looks like there's just a battery compartment right at the front, like a aim point type with the two batteries rather than the button battery. So it's just kind of a little tube on the side. It's kind of just what it looks like here. You have a little screw cap that you just screw off the front. I'm not entirely sure how it locks the battery from being taken out while it's in the gun.
Yeah, I'm passing on trying to say anything, like how's this, how's that.
Yeah.
If they ever actually really bring it out, then I guess people will know how it works.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will take it and review it because I know this thing's gotten a lot of media over the last week or so.
Yeah.
So I imagine somebody won't mind taking the bullet and buying one or getting one and beating it up and seeing what they can do. I'm sure somebody will be willing to take an angle. Well, I don't know, because if you cut the thing off, it might be stuck in your gun. So I wouldn't.
This is what I like about this.
Want to be that tester.
Is if it does come out soon, and if they start sending your favorite YouTuber or your favorite blogger, I want to see which one says it's a good idea, so I never ever read their stuff or give them any respect again. Because it's right in line. At least you didn't know the R51 was garbage until you start seeing the different reports coming from people shooting it. And then you could look back at all the people that said the R51 was the greatest gun there was. American Rifleman magazine. And you can see who just gives good reviews over pretty much ad revenue.
Yep. paid reviews. I think we've come a good ways, at least in our section of the industry, where we're not paid to do this, so we don't really have a reason to say that it's good. If it's not good, then I'm not going to lose $10,000 for saying that it's not good, kind of thing.
Well, let me explain.
Hopefully,
I really feel that YouTube and the internet has kind of made the gun industry or the gun press be more honest. Because before this, they were horrible. I was a diehard reader of every gun magazine there was. Oh, I spent all of my little money that I could scrape together whenever I can get one. Or I'd hung around the back of the bookstore after the monthly periodicals went out, the old ones went out, they'd cut off the front cover and throw them away. Oh, I dumpster dived. I dumpster dived to grab the old magazines they cut the covers off of.
You didn't mind if it had a cover or not, huh?
Yeah, I could care less. I just wanted to read the articles, much like Playboy. But once I got in and you started reading them and you find out guns that were garbage back in the day, like the Colt All-American 2000 or the Colt 2000 All-American, whatever they called it, it was a horrible firearm. Never really worked. Oh, yeah, some of the magazines talking about how great it was. Along with, again, R51 was the latest one. I can't think anymore off the top of my head, but there were a bunch of dogs out there, and the gun media said they were the greatest ever. And then, of course, the next 3 pages would be ads from those companies.
Yeah. If you have a magazine that says Remington released this awesome new gun, and the next page there's a full color ad for Remington, it should raise some questions at least.
If you're an NRA member for the months after the R51 came out, because remember, it's like 3 months behind or ahead. I'm sorry, they're 3 months ahead of whatever is on the newsstand. They'd have the review, and then the very next page would be an R51 ad from Remington.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually said something to them on their website. And
sure, a lot of people said something to them.
Yeah, but it was enough because their fallback was, they had pre-orders. The guns they were using were pre-production models. And I was like, well, then it's incumbent upon you to test the real thing, not the pre-production model.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps that up. Does anybody have anything else on the Zor or anything else they want to mention?
No, please no, get rid of it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, with that, we'll let Tony do his. We do have our. Before we let Tony do his deal, we do have our contest going on right now, or I guess giveaway going on right now. You go to the show notes for the. Not show notes. I'm sorry. The drawing a blank. iTunes. Yeah, iTunes. Go to iTunes. Leave us a review. For every review that gets put in, we register. I mean, you can only leave one review, but for everybody that leaves a review, you get put in the hat to win. I'm trying to remember what the prize was. I think it was a patch pack. We'll have to let Ryan explain it a little better next week.
I think it's new.
Pushing it.
I think it's new.
Oh, okay. So Sean's going to be entering that, right?
Oh yeah, actually, if you want to get some, we took some. Ryan didn't know about it while we were in. Be up on the website later.
All right. Well, anyways, if you want to get entered into that, go to iTunes, leave a review, and then I'm not sure exactly how he's doing it. Maybe send us a little message on Facebook or something just to let you know you did, with your real name, because I know a lot of people use weird names on iTunes. So do that, and now we'll give it away to Tony to talk about his Second is for Everyone.
Second is for Everyone Diversity Shoot is coming up. More stuff, more prizes, more speakers coming out. We're trying to bring in new people or different people to speak to gun owners in New Jersey. It's going to be on June 9th at 6 p.m. A lot of cool stuff. I can't wait to see anybody out there. Stone Mountain Machine Gun Shoot was last weekend. Well, they already have a thing up right now. You can check it out. It's going to be on next year around the same time. So if you want to sign up, because if you missed it this year, you missed something really cool.
Yeah, I noticed during the show, Sean sent me, Sean from Black Bag Resources, he invited me to the Machine Gun Shoot for May 20th. I assume it's for next year and not next week.
Next week? Yeah, no.
It'd be a little much for them to organize. So same place, the weekend of May 20th. So
It's
yeah.
a pretty cool facility. We didn't even talk about everything that was available, mainly because my fat butt was not getting on a zip line, and that's not going to happen. No way, no how.
Well, I know a
Unless I'm
lot of people that frequent a lot of the shows on here on the network went, so I'm sure you'll be able to hear about it from, especially This Week in Guns, because I'm pretty sure every panelist that's ever been on This Week in Guns has made their way up to Pennsylvania this last weekend. I did notice
Yeah.
some
Nate-
guy on some random group that I've never met before, never heard of. He happened to go and he got to shoot a full auto BAR from, an original Browning automatic rifle. So that was pretty cool. I imagine there was one there. I'm pretty sure it was the same place. It looked like that lake that I saw you guys shooting over. So
Yeah. It
seemed to
was-
be a
it
ton of
was-
cool stuff there.
Yeah, a lake.
Yeah, it was a runoff or a man-made lake, whatever it was, but it was awesome. Dude,
And sloppy.
love
Huh?
it. They had people from Connecticut down. They had people from all over in New York State. They came down. So a lot of the listeners of this network were out there, and it was really great meeting a bunch of people.
That's awesome.
because-
Hopefully I'll get to make it out next year.
Well, here's the cool thing. Because it was so small, and because they don't have a lot of hotels, pretty much you spent the weekend with the people that were there. So you got
Nice.
to see them, you got to have breakfast with them, and you got to eat in the restaurants with them. And of course, all you gun geeks look alike. All right?
Hey,
All of you wear the same stuff when you go out with your hat with the patches, your 511, Condor, Maxpedition, knife in your pocket. Oh my God, it was so easy to spot you all going.
Boots,
Yeah,
black boots with mud all over them.
oh, by the end of it? Oh, yeah, we all. I'll be posting pictures of the mud. Ryan posted pictures of the mud. You had to keep moving around or else you'd get stuck in place.
Quicksand, huh?
It was
Yeah.
awesome. All right, guys. Thanks again. Second is for everyone. Check out my Instagram page if you want to see pictures from the this last event, and the second is for everyone events over the last year. And anything else I'm doing is on Simon Says Train Instagram. On Instagram, excuse me.
Cool. Thanks, Tony. Now, just to wrap up, if you want to send any questions or comments, make sure you use our new email address, gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review, especially if you want to get in on those contests. Check out the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. And be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for review and industry coverage. So I will see you guys later, and I assume Ryan will be back next week. So we'll make it happen then.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah, Ryan couldn't make it, but I could. All right, yep, see you guys next week. Thanks a lot.
All right, and again, thanks for Alex for showing up, and talk to everybody later. Yep,
bye.
thank
See you
you.
guys.
Bye.